Okay, a little lesson learned, if you will. We have 4 hives here. You can see 4 hives right there. And of those 4 hives, this is our tallest. This was 3 brood boxes tall with a flow hive on top. We have since removed the flow hive and we've stuck it over here on this hive right here. This hive had this medium, but there were no ribs underneath the frames when it came with it, so the bees never did anything in there for about a month, month and a half. So that was a wasted box being set up there, and the bottom hive is slammed. The bottom brood box is slammed. So we now have the flow hive on top with all the nectar that came from those bees over there. So these bees should be much better well-to-do. Now we've got a little nuke set up there with a queen cup and some brood and stuff like that in there also. This hive is doing fine. It is slammed. It's got a lot of honey on top, as does that one over there. Okay, we took some of the honey frames out of there and stuck them in because that hive here, this hive actually had 4 queen cups in there. One of them was just larvae, and they were feeding the queen royal jelly, or the larva royal jelly, and then they were going to seal it up the rest of the way. So they're still feeding her royal jelly, but there were 3 other queen cups that were already in there. So we cut those out of there, and they're in a nuke somewhere else. So long story short, here's the lesson we learned. As a beekeeper, especially during the nectar flow, you want to make sure that you have plenty of brood boxes on hand so that as your bees start filling out their brood boxes, and you also need to have plenty of frames so that as your bees are filling these things out, and they'll fill them out very quickly. They could fill up a whole brood box in a week if the nectar flow is really good. And I think that these bee boxes here just got so slammed and they were being so successful that we have boxes on order. Let's see, how many did I order? I think I ordered 10 boxes on order, but they're not going to be here till Thursday. So because of that, we really had no boxes to put these extra things in. So they'll be here. We learned a valuable lesson. You always got to have empty frames, and you always have to have empty brood boxes that you can use, because these bees, especially during the nectar flow, they can expand really quickly. So important tool, important lesson for y'all to learn if you're thinking about starting beehives. We're still learning. We're in just the start of our 2nd year right now. Literally just the start of our 2nd year. So lot to learn. It's a fun hobby. I highly recommend it. It's fun to just sit and watch the bees. They don't hurt you. I've been stung 1 time. And it was just because it was a brand new nuke that we were opening up, and when they came out of the box, they were a little bit angry. They were like, where are we? So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. We're going to post this on YouTube, and don't want this video to get too long. So hope you all enjoy it. Like and subscribe below, and we'll have some fun stuff for you coming up. We're getting our boat, some work done on the boat, and we're going to go out and do some shooting and stuff like that, so you'll be able to see all of that stuff too. So we got some pretty cool toys. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to R&R Lifestyles. We're at my neighbor's house right next door because while I was out at work today, Saturday, May 26th, I got a few urgent text messages from my wife Rhonda, and she informed me that our bees had swarmed from one of our hives and they were in our neighbor's tree. So I'm going to show you where they swarmed. They are right up there. Hopefully you can see them all, right up there. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and we grabbed one of our nukes right here, and we put 5 frames inside, empty frames, And we put some lemongrass oil in there also, so that'll attract them. And what I'm about to do right now is I'm going to take this nuke box right here and I'll put it up in this crook of this branch right here, which is literally just a couple feet away from that swarm. And hopefully over about a period of about 3 days, we'll capture the swarm inside this nuke box, and then we'll relocate it and have our hive back. So anyway, this is the documentation of that, and you can see them. They're right up there. There's the swarm. Unfortunately, they're on the trunk, so they're not on a branch where I can just shake them into the nuke box. They're actually on the trunk, and I can't shake the trunk. So we'll just put this up close to there and have them go inside on their own, which might be a better outcome in the end anyway. All right, so here's my wife. She's gonna do the camera work while I do everything else. Okay, so folks, here you can see I got it mounted up in here with some bungee cords. I think that'll be pretty solid for them. And right over here, you can actually see the swarm right up in there. So that is the giant swarm of bees. I don't know how many bees are there, but it's quite a few. And hopefully they're gonna find this, come inside over the next 2-3 days, and make themselves a new home. And they had a nice home. I'm going to show you the home that they had, and you're going to say, why are they in a tree? Why? Okay, folks, so here's the deal. One of these 4 hives swarmed. One of them swarmed over to my neighbor's yard. So we already got the swarm trap up in the tree next to the swarm. I don't think it was this one, the second one in, but it could be, because that second one in, for the last week, we've seen them on the front of the hive. All the bees outside on the front quite often, but I still see plenty coming in and out of there. Those hives over there look fine. That one looks fine. This one here has a lot less activity than it should have. It should have a whole lot more activity than what you see right here, and I'm just not seeing that activity. So that's a little concerning. This was my big hive, and this is the one with the flow hive on top. So I'm going to open all of these hives up. I think that I'm going to start with this one right over here first, though, because I think that one might be the one that did swarm. So we're going to take a look in there. It's been a few weeks since I did that, so I got my tools already sitting over here. So just bear with me here. It's a hot day down here in Georgia. It's 85 degrees, humid. And I get this full outfit on, so, and I just got off of work, so full day at work and then come home to a swarm, and then having to go through these hives in the full sunshine. But at least some of the foragers will be outside foraging and that. So let's take a look inside this first hive right here. This hive number 2, going from right to left. So here we go. I think I'm going to set you all right here, and I'm hoping that that'll give you a good angle. And it's not my rear end. So off comes the lid. Set this here. Let's get this top part off here. I have not been in here in a couple of weeks, so I have no idea what I'm going to find. I see a lot of drawn comb up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 frames. Okay, let's break this free here. Break this free. Let's grab our little frame holder here. Stick that on there. And there we go. So these were all empty frames up here. And I can see they're full of nectar and pollen. You can can see this, they've drawn this all out. Full of nectar and pollen and fresh comb. Let's see if we see any. Yeah, this is all just nectar and pollen. I see a queen cup in there. They built a queen cup in there, but I don't see them. There's nothing in there. So let's set this. More brood. You see that okay? More brood. Drone cells at the bottom. Honey around the top. Very nicely done. Another frame of brood. Hopefully you can all see that. Looking for the queen. Probably not the queen. I thought it might be. It's not the queen. Okay, we'll keep looking. Okay, now we're going to go down into this bottom frame and you can see what we got here. Lots of bees. So I just ripped open some larvae right there. We got the five frames that came with the nuke and then 3 brand new frames. These guys are going to need another box here real soon. I'm going to have to split this hive. So let's just let's take a look here. See what we can come up with. Over here, they're still working on that. There's the far frame over to the right. This one, I'm telling you right now, I can see lots of bees in here. Just poke open some honey. Okay, I'm looking for the queen. See drones. There's the other side of that frame. Do we see the queen in there anywhere? Don't see the queen. See lots of drones. A little bit of honey. Still no queen. To get these frames apart. Hoping that you can see in here, and that is a queen cell that's looking at the bottom, and there's actual larvae in there and they're feeding her royal jelly. So that is a queen cell right there on the bottom, and then there's another one that they're starting there, and there is another one right there in the middle of the frame right there. So these guys are producing queens like crazy. So Rhonda's going to get some nukes and we're going to put some of these queens in cells in some of these things here. So, oh geez, I wasn't expecting this. Okay, we've got another queen cup right there that they're working on. This hive has produced, oh geez, I think I've counted 4 so far, 4 queen cups. One of them's got larvae in there. They're feeding her. So that was telling me that that is probably this hive that swarmed. Okay. I don't know if you can see in here, but right there is a queen cup, and you can see the worker bees going in there, and they're feeding the queen, the larva. They're feeding her. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in there or not. But then right here is another queen cup, right there. And that one's all sealed up. So I think that's one that I'm going to cut out and stick in another. You can see the bees taking care of these 2 queen cups that I laid on top here. These are going to go in those other 2 nukes over there. So, but that's the 2 queen cups right there. So I'm going to get those out of there.